Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pop Culture Spread, our fun weekly movie and streaming news show with a twist. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rick. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also, hit that notification bell. We would really appreciate it. Also, remember, you can hear us on audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and where all good podcasts are found. Also, you can check out our merch store. All the links are down below. Joining me on the show, as always, here's the other half of Pop Culture Spread and my good mate, VHS. Jace, how are you, buddy?
Good, mate. Good. I'm what a big week for stories, but it's
week.
Such a big week, Rick. I don't know if we can handle it ourselves. There's so many big stories to talk about.
And we have someone, a very special guest, joining us to help us with these massive stories. And joining us for the first time, and a good friend of the channel, all the way from Captain's Quadrant, Captain Joe Dove.
Hello, my friends. It's been a while, and it's so good to see you both. Thank you. I'm very honored to be here amongst Australian royalty. I appreciate it.
Royalty.
All the way from New York City.
I'm the most Star Trekiest bastard in New York City.
There you go.
Wow.
You picked it. It's a great week to have you on, Joe, because there is a lot to get into, isn't there?
Yeah,
there is.
I'm just still digesting a lot of turkey, and I'm ready to roll, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
And happy day of thanks for you.
Let's get into some big news, guys. We got to start. Man, you cannot get any bigger news than this. Dave Filoni named Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm, will help oversee development of future Star Wars projects. Now, I know every fanboy out there has probably just blown their load hearing this news, and I know one of them on this show is Jace. What is your thoughts on this, mate?
Sometimes the world does make sense. Sometimes there's an opportunity where things come together and it's logical. This, guys, is absolutely logical. Anyone who's a Star Wars fan out there understands in the last 6 years, Dave Filoni has had a very positive impact on live action Star Wars on television. And of course, his royalty, because he learned from George Lucas himself when they were doing the Clone Wars. This is excellent. I'm excited about it. I got a massive nerd boner. I'm just going to say it. This is amazing.
Joe, what are your thoughts on this, mate? Are you a Star Wars fan?
I am a Star Wars fan. I love all things space and time. So if it's got ships in it, I'm all in. I'm like, what are we doing? We're flying with lightsabers? What are we doing? What are we doing? When I was told about this during the week, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, for real? Are you playing with me? Because this is going to be a long-term storyline and planning. They haven't had that in years. So yeah, exactly. Because that sequel trilogy, though, the first one I kind of liked, and the second one was okay. It just fell apart because they didn't sequentially plan it. And I feel like this is an opportunity to kind of correct those wrongs and really get a great game plan and really give us some good stories. And
I think you hit it on the head there, Joe. It is absolutely about planning, because the ripple effect of them not planning out that trilogy was massive for the franchise. You know, and an opportunity where it was every fan was excited to see Star Wars return, and then to mismanage that trilogy so poorly. It also means, to me, isn't it interesting that Kathleen Kennedy, who recently had been copying it when South Park had dropped that Pandaverse, all of a sudden, a week later, we've got Dave Filoni. They go, no. Dave Filoni's going to make all the creative decisions now.
Yeah.
She's still around, though, Kathleen?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, she's still around. She's just...
Look, Kathleen Kennedy is one of the greatest Hollywood producers of all time. She's one of the greats. She worked with Spielberg and Lucas for decades.
Yeah, Indiana Jones.
But it doesn't mean she's the creative.
Correct.
She was a producer. Yeah. She helps guide the creator's vision. And I think when she was running Star Wars in the last few years and has been making creative decisions, I think we've seen what could potentially happen. So having Dave Filoni, who knows more about Star Wars than anyone else on the planet, running this ship, I mean, yeah, it's very exciting future for Star Wars.
Right. The best way to describe this magnificent news, besides being a Christmas Day moment, is going back and watching that roundtable that they've had and how much this guy, like you said, Jace, knows about Star Wars. Blew my mind, because I was like, this guy with his cowboy hat, what does he know? And then all of a sudden, my jaw dropped, and I'm like, okay, I'll shut up. This guy knows what he's talking about, and we're in good hands. So,
very, very good hands. And what it does mean is these ideas and rumors we've been hearing about, Joe, about the lead-up film, like the Avengers type Mandalorian film, and that, that's happening. In fact,
absolutely.
in the article, he mentions they're developing that.
Yeah.
And then the newly announced Rey Skywalker movie. I mean, that blew me away.
Yeah, I was
not positively. I was just shocked at the news of it. And that's kind of exciting too, because she's come out and said, the fans are going to be very happy with this movie, which means, I think there'll be something. And knowing that Dave Filoni will be behind that all means this is a glorious day in the Star Wars universe. And dare I say it, Joe, from Captain's Quadrant, Paramount needs to take it. Notice of this.
Absolutely.
Because in Star Trek world, it's the opposite that's happening. I'm very concerned that they don't have strong leadership. So
I totally agree. And, Jason Roy Gaston, my co-host there, will 100% agree with you. It's a little bit murky in the waters. They got removing shows instead of gaining shows. They're not positioning themselves properly for a proper lineup. I love Star Trek. You can almost put Star Trek characters reading the phone book, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's pretty impeccable." But really, Alan Smith, let's go. So we know that people behind the scenes have to get it together, and then this is going to be the template more than likely for get your shit together, folks.
Yeah, because again, as much as I love Star Wars, I love Star Trek too, and I want that future to be bright as well.
Same.
So interesting times. Dave Filoni, mate. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, maybe we'll get Darth Jar Jar. I think that would be fun.
If anybody could save Jar Jar and flip him and turn him to a character that people love, it would be Dave Filoni.
Absolutely,
without question.
Well, so basically, what we got out of that is Star Trek need to do better. So,
they have been doing very well, though.
Oh, they have been.
It's actually cyclical, Rick, in a way. Star Trek coming back in 2017 was kind of, then we started to see them peak. When Star Wars was going down.
Right.
We were seeing Star Trek really peak, and they have done some amazing stuff. The fear around that, Rick, is just they're losing momentum. But that's a story for Captain's Quadrant.
We'll talk about that. Over there.
You wait, in a couple of weeks will be news. Paramount has just poached Dave Filoni to run.
Oh my God, imagine.
But I will say, sorry, dude, before I know the story's been going on, you know who the Dave Filoni over in the Star Trek universe should be, Joe?
Terry Metalis.
Bingo.
Absolutely.
There's your guy. There's your guy.
There's your Dave Filoni.
Make it happen, Joe. Make it happen.
Yeah,
right?
I'll give him a call.
He knows people. He can make it happen.
Yeah, I know people now.
He watches the podcast. Get on it. Jeez.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys, let's get into the next story. Let's get into other news.
I love that.
Yeah.
So random.
Let's talk some DC news, guys. We have some big DC news because last week it was all about Marvel and we got some DC. Superman Legacy cast its new Jimmy Olsen and Eve Tessemark with Skylar Gisondo and Sarah Simparo. Wow, this is huge news, guys. What are your thoughts on the casting here? I think this is great. Great casting.
It's simple. Superman Legacy casting is brilliant.
On point.
On point, like you wouldn't believe. You see the people they have cast in this film. Not only do they look like it, they behave like it. I've not seen Superman. Is it David Coruscant?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. I've not seen him before. But the Rachel Bronson from Mrs. Maisel, I've watched that show. And she is Lois Lane. Like, it's great casting. And the kid they've cast as Jimmy Olsen.
Amazing.
I couldn't remember what he was from, but he's been in a ton of stuff this year.
He's in from Vacation.
He's from
Santa Clara.
the Righteous Brothers.
The
He,
Righteous, he's got
yeah.
a big hit on the Righteous Brothers, haven't he,
Yeah.
at the moment? Yeah.
Oh, I love that show. It's such a fun show. He's the grandson. He's what's his name? Son.
Yeah.
But if
The main
you
guy's son.
look at it, that picture, Jace, if you look at that picture, he just looks like
Oh, yeah,
Jimmy
he's a
Olsen.
very
You know, he's
youthful
got
looking
that look.
guy, so
you know.
he's definitely got the
Righteous
Jimmy
Gemstones.
Olsen vibe going. But
Yeah.
check out this cast, all right? We've got, this comes off the back of Nicholas Hoult. Beast from X-Men movies is cast as Lex Luthor. What do we think about that as a cast? Nicholas Hoult, I'm down.
Listen, you know what's happening? You just said something, an analogy that we're going to use here. You know how Star Wars was going on a downtrend? Marvel's going on a downtrend. And now this is DC's chance to go on the uptrend because they have a really good long-term storytelling person at the helm in James Gunn. And he's very good at making some very good, superhero movies.
He knows how to cast his actors, put it that way.
That for sure. For sure. And his storytelling is good.
You got Nicholas Hoult as playing Lex Luthor. You've got obviously Corin Sweat for Superman. We've talked about Rachel. Nathan Fillion in the movie playing Guy Gardner.
That is perfect casting because everybody as a kid.
That is fanboy casting for 20 years, I reckon.
Exactly.
People have been wanting that. And so that you've also got Hawk Girl in it. You've got Mr. Terrific is in the movie.
Oh my God,
you've got
really
Metamorpho in this movie. They are digging deep, guys, into the DC canon for this. And then the villain, which I believe is Maria Gabriella De Faria, she's playing the engineer who's a member of the Authority.
Wow. Oh man, when you told me that this was going down and the Authority was going to be the big bad, I almost literally got off whatever I was doing. I called my like, hey, you're never gonna believe what's going on with DC. The Authority
is really, really bold, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a Superman movie we've ever seen before. This is so different.
Completely different.
They're not going to do the origin story. This is not going to be Richard Donner type. This is not going to be Schneider. This is going to be something very different.
And I'm glad because rebooting in this story that we've seen at least 6 times now,
ridiculous,
not necessary.
No. Well, here's the other thing. As for DC, you've got to nail Superman, right? If you can't nail a Superman movie, all the plans you have for the next 10 years are meaningless. Yeah. We need great Superman movies. We need great Batman movies. You need them like Iron Man and Captain America. You need your top tier characters to be in great movies. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Hoult, I remember him in the Fury Road. And
what a lovely day.
Oh, what a lovely day. He was so bizarre. I was like, you know what? He's probably going to kill this role because he's such
very diverse. Have you seen the menu? Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't. I heard about it. I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good in that as well. He's a very good actor. And Renfield, I loved him in Renfield.
He was great in Renfield.
Fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, great cast. I was like, Superman movie. But the more that they're dropping about this, the more I'm really excited for DC. What they're going to be dropping in us in 2025.
Yeah, this is going to be.
Let's see some footage. I want to see some footage.
Yeah,
a trailer would be nice.
You know what it is? They're going to spend the money on doing it right because one of the big issues with the Flash is they were more worried about getting it out because of all the errors and issues that certain cast members were having. That they were like, it doesn't matter, just make the babies. Let's go. And yeah, exactly. So this is their opportunity to be like, listen, don't worry about that world. That's different. We're gonna bring you something really nice this time.
Nice and fresh.
I believe that. 100%. 100%.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's get into something a little bit odd what I saw, which is pretty.
I've been ready for this.
I know. I don't know if everyone's going to put themselves out there, but Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, to join Jackie Chan in new film and will conduct a worldwide search for the new martial arts student. Holy shit. So then
you guys,
a Karate Kid could be a 50-year-old bald man with a beard, can't it?
Anyone can cast.
Rick, man, you look super young. You should jump in there.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? This is interesting, guys, because remember when they announced this movie? And they were saying, it's not related to Cobra Kai at all. It's completely different. And there was a lot of controversy about it. Then we heard Jackie Chan was involved. They're like, oh, they're doing a sequel to The Karate Kid from 2008, which I stand by as a good movie.
I was
like
agreeing
that
with.
movie.
I want to go home. And I love that.
I
meme.
like the movie
Okay.
because it was different enough, wasn't it?
was,
They said
yeah.
it in China and all that kind of thing. But now to find out that they are actually going to bring those two universes together for a film, I'm really excited. Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. Yeah.
Is this the Kung Fu version of the Avengers verse?
It might be.
Yeah.
Karate Kid kind of, Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah.
It's look, I'm excited for it now, and I really love this gimmick of really great marketing strategy. We're looking for the next Karate Kid global.
Yeah.
Dude, there were ads on my Facebook feed for the local agents here putting out images saying we're doing casting calls right now for the Karate Kid. They're not mucking around. It is across the world. And I think it's exciting. It reminds me of when they were casting Rey Skywalker from Star Wars. Because they did a whole global... J.J. Abrams just went all over the world looking for that right person for the role.
And she's from London, right?
Yeah, she's English. She's English.
She's English, right?
She's just kind of, and was found just in a mass casting call.
Oh, wow.
And
can you imagine she was a barista and then the next day, Ray Skywalker, bitches! Yeah! You know?
Yeah, well, she was, I think, working a job and just doing theatre on the side or something. So
Are they... Do we know are they casting what age group they're looking for, or are they just anyone?
It's a young. No, it's a young kid.
Young.
It's between 8 to 12, I think.
Oh
wow!
Oh, you know what? My cousin does karate.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Karate Kid, isn't it? It's not going to be the karate. Karate. Millennial or the karate. Over 70s.
Or the karate mid-age crisis.
How many people would send that, though? How many of those people would send those applications in, those videos?
Oh, ungodly.
I feel, if I was the casting agent and they said, we're going to hire you to do the cast for Karate Kid, I would have thought, oh, sweet, it's a good gig. Then you realise you have to watch thousands of hours of auditions now because they've decided they're going to put them out globally. No, I think it's great. I'm actually really enjoyed Cobra Kai. I don't know if you ever watched it, Joe.
Oh yeah, I loved Cobra Kai. That was
Cobra Kai turned out to be better than the movies in many ways.
100%.
So to see maybe now that we're ending Cobra Kai, it's going to lead into this. Hopefully, as a final send off, or maybe the beginning of a new kind of Karate Kid franchise. I'm down for it. Yeah. I doubted the TV series. I thought this is going to be a pile of crap.
I doubt
it ended up being amazing. So what do I know except, Danielson, wax on, wax off. I'm down.
Well, if you're slated for I didn't remember when you announced that they had the TV show, and I'm like, I'm not watching it. It's garbage.
On YouTube at the time, remember?
On YouTube, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. It was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube, and I thought, fuck. All right, I'm going to watch a couple episodes, and I was hooked. And then from then on, it was just great. Look, I'm excited. I'll see. It's slated for December 13, 2024. So it's only a year away, really. So.
Well, it's not like, they're going to have warehouses full of CGI guys for this one.
No.
That's it.
And it's always brand new reality, so there's not even wire work. Maybe there's a tiny little bit of wire work, but most of it's just done in camera, right?
So, I want wire work. I want people to jump real high. Like, wow, shit.
This is Jackie Chan, man.
Jackie Chan don't use wires, man. Don't
right.
Put the wires on the Jackie.
Yeah,
Jackie Chan puts his body on the line every time.
Yeah.
But he's massive in China and Hong Kong. So can you imagine?
He's bigger than the president over there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. When I went,
China.
Yeah, when I went to China, I saw stuff with him. Everyone was like, "Is that Jackie Chan?" I didn't know he sold pizza. It was bizarre.
All right. Speaking of the small screen, let's get on to our next story. Cape Fear TV series coming to coming from Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese, which is very, very interesting. Two of the big names. I'm kind of keen. I'm interested in this only because those two are involved. What's everyone's thoughts on this?
Well, that's what grabbed me with the story, wasn't the fact that they were doing a Cape Fear TV series. It was like, Spielberg and Scorsese are on board.
Yeah,
for
that's
this?
a hell of a
Like, they
team.
must have something here. I mean, these guys are not going to put their name to an average straight to
No.
Tubi TV series, are they? It's going to be fairly big. And I think people are going, what do you need to remake Cape Fear? Well, Scorsese's Cape Fear was a remake of a film called Cape Fear.
Right.
Like, the original came out in 1962.
Right.
It is absolutely material to do it, so how they take it, who knows, but I do know the guy that they've hired, this Nick and Koska, apparently has been obsessive with these films his whole life. Massive fan on the series. So I assume he sold a pitch to Scorsese and Spielberg that was just too good. They're gonna make it. And it's a great story to be retold, isn't it? About a psychotic stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of those these days. I mean,
Yeah, it's very relatable, unfortunately, to a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
you're gonna have to get a really high caliber actor that's very good at the whole creepy stalky guy because I mean, De Niro.
You know who I'd get?
Yeah.
I'd get the guy that played Pennywise. What's his name?
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Which one was he? There's the younger
Yeah,
one.
one of the Skarsgårds, anyway.
Yeah.
One of them.
Pennywise Skarsgård.
Yeah, Pennywise Skarsgård. Yeah. I get him. Because
that's a great
even
casting.
in John Wick 4, he was quite good. Like, he plays creepy quite well. And he always looks like he's on the verge of just going psychotic.
Yeah.
Or you'd get someone like a Tom Hardy. Man, imagine getting someone like Tom
Yeah,
Hardy
Tom.
to do it.
Tom could do it. He's a good
Because he goes psycho really well.
Yeah, like I think it was Bronson.
Or
that
get,
shit?
like a Shia LaBeouf. There you go. There's another one. Get Shia.
Really?
Do it now. Yeah. Just do it.
man. I'd definitely go with Shia.
He's very method. He's a method.
He's method. He'd
crazy.
probably kill a few people. Yeah.
He's fucking
I don't know. I mean, but even this talk suggests there's a lot of potential, right, guys? I mean, like the fact that we're already kind of thinking, who could they cast? The story's solid, but yeah, I think it's.
It depends on who picks it up. It's in a bidding war at the moment, so what Netflix or Apple Plus or whoever picks it up. Interesting.
Look, it wouldn't matter if it was about flowers. You've got Scorsese and Spielberg on top of
it's
that.
going to be epic.
One of the big streaming services is going to buy it.
Yeah.
No
of
question.
course. And they're going to make money. They're going to be bank. So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Jace. Let's get into the best part of this show, and that's the train wreck of the week.
It's funny you guys picked train wreck of the week because we're having those here in America. We just had one in Kentucky. We just had a terrible train wreck that they had to
no.
They literally, I think, blocked off a whole neighborhood and told everybody that's in that neighborhood, listen, if you're already home, stay in your house and don't drink the water. So that's very fitting. Good job, guys.
Thanks for bringing that down.
Yeah, we'll just bring up trauma for people. Our train wreck is not a real train wreck. It's more a metaphorical train wreck. But this is bad, guys. This is bad.
Oof.
Melissa Barrera fired from Scream 7. The main lead from 6. She apparently made her first appearance in 5. Got fired because she went online and started having an opinion on the Israeli-Palestine conflict and decided to say some things that were anti-Semitic, specifically heavily implying about how the Jews run Hollywood. Well, A, don't bite the hand that feeds you. B, that is highly inappropriate. And C, they were justified in letting her go. This is the problem. You all want to jump on the highly righteous train and have an opinion about a terrible tragedy happening across the world and think for some reason that there aren't consequences. The Jewish community has, supported Hollywood since its inception. In fact, Hollywood wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for the investment and hard work of the Jewish community over 100 years to turn around and then kind of talk about genocide and talk about all this kind of other stuff and then, basically take a massive swing at your bosses. Well, what did you think was going to happen, dummy? Dummy! Yeah. You are the worst. You remind me of this girl that's in Snow White. I can't remember her name that's been coming out and just slamming her boss.
Oh yeah, I remember reading about that. Because even what's the name back off
You deserve to be fired from this.
Yeah.
Because like, would you do that in your workplace, guys?
No.
Would you do that in your? No way would you.
No, I always
guess
tell
what?
them.
You'd be on the unemployment line, right?
Yep. I always say to everyone, you know how amazing my boss is?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Always keep the boss happy. Always.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. Everyone has an opinion, right? But with social media and everything out there, why do you need to put it out there for everyone when you're one of the high-profile celebrity?
And here's the spin her team tried to bring in. They released a story 2 days later saying, "Oh, Jenny Ortega, who's the other star of Scream, she has now left the project." No, months ago she had told the writers that she would not be able to appear in it because she had films already locked in, scheduled to film.
Jenny Ortega was like, "You said what?"
Yeah. So here's the spin, right? They're lying. They're doing this giant spin factor on it. And the beauty is now, apparently the writers of Scream, who were on pause because of the writer's strike, have gone, all right, we're kicking this girl out. The other girl's left. Let's get Nev Campbell and who was it else they're going to get back? I can't bring back Dewey. Yeah, bring them back. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if she's still around or not. I can't remember. Yeah, no, I mean in the movie. Not
no, I know.
Yeah. That's
she's
the other
fine,
friend.
breathing, happy, you know.
Yeah. It's her TV husband and ain't doing so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're going to bring back the old school cast now and kind of do it. But Melissa Barrera, get some good advice. Either listen to your team or
don't say anything.
Get a new team because
clearly the team. Well, that's right. She's going to post something. Surely it's got to go through her PA, and everyone's got to check it before she posts it.
You would think, but not all. Some of the actors manage their own social media.
Really?
You know, there used to be this thing. There used to be this thing as kids. We learnt this as kids. Is when you're at parties, you don't talk politics and you don't talk religion, right?
Yep.
That's something that should happen on social media too.
Yep.
When you used to say when you're at parties, you don't talk about it, meaning when you're in social gatherings, don't talk about stuff because it creates conflict and creates, sometimes things you wouldn't want to happen. Social media is the same thing.
Yep.
Maybe, guys, we don't need to give our well-learned, thoughts from, safe Western culture about what's happening over there.
Yeah.
And think there's not going to be consequences when you start saying anti-Semitic garbage.
Ugh, terrible.
Jesus.
Hilarious in a way. Hilarious. So it just goes to Hollywood. You might have to have talent, but intelligence ain't part of that.
Can you read?
Yeah, geez, all right.
All right. All right, guys, let's get into this next segment, which is a great segment for us Aussies.
I'm excited about this week because I get to show an American some stuff.
Oh. Yeah. We're going to show some great Aussie telly.
Tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up to die is a bum.
So somebody's getting it. Any boss
that man ran our country for 8 years in the 80s.
Wait, for real?
Prime Minister.
Yeah, he was your Ronald Reagan.
Bob Hawke. He was our Ronald Reagan.
Wow.
And he used to scull yard glasses.
Yeah.
Like, he was a real Aussie Prime Minister, wasn't he?
Best,
I mean, look at the jacket he was wearing. Anyway, all right. So we're talking back in the day. And as we know, we like to look back at old classic Aussie telly. And I thought, well, we're going to have a guest this week who's not familiar with Aussie telly. So I wanted to show him a couple of things that are personal to us, Rick.
Yeah.
And one of them is Vegemite. Very personal to Australia. It's our biggest export. It is a big part of it. So I wanted to show Joe how we used to advertise Vegemite back in the 80s. So check this out.
Oh.
Happy little Vegemite as bright can be. We all enjoy our Vegemite for breakfast, lunch and tea. Our mommies say we're growing stronger every single week.
Today, more than ever, Vegemite helps. Vegemite yeast extract, with all the goodness of those essential B group vitamins.
Has put a rose in every tree.
Wait, Kraft? Seriously, guys?
Yeah.
Kraft makes Vegemite.
Yeah, man.
Now, there's a
Yeah.
couple of things about that I want to point out. You would never pour that much Vegemite on a slice of bread, would you?
Oh, because they were
Like,
laughing.
they've like
Like,
made
like jam?
like tar.
Yeah,
like
it did look like
tar.
tar. I was like, well, that's.
But yeah, we're gonna send you. We're gonna send you some. Hey,
I-
and give you ingredients because what they do to Americans, and this is very cruel, is they'll say to America, "Here, try some Vegemite," and they'll give you a
And they
spoon
just-
of it, and it's disgusting. With Vegemite, you've got to get a nice fresh slice of bread, like super fresh. You get some margarine or butter, preferably butter, and then you just put a little bit of Vegemite. And I'm telling you, you'll be
The
sold,
consistency,
Joe.
butter and Vegemite.
You gotta do
There's a thing to it.
ratio, do some.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
probably
yeah.
like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
You've got to have that even ratio, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you get a bad peanut butter and jelly. I hate when I was a kid and my mom was like in a rush and there was only a dollop of jelly right in the middle of the fucking sandwich, and that drove me crazy. Like, where's the damn jelly?
Now, the next clip I wanted to show you was from something that me and Rick were exposed to in our childhood. It was a children's show that me and Rick, well, I know I watched a lot. I don't know if Rick did. He may have been still a little bit too young when this was out. But made in Adelaide. I've actually been in the audience of this show.
Oh.
However, I wish maybe they'd changed the title. I mean, you wouldn't call this children's show this in the current age, but check out the children's show. We used to watch at 4 o'clock every day.
This program is classified C, especially for kids.
The place is now and we are one, so come on kids and have some fun. Time to laugh, so much more to do. Yeah, come on kids, it's all for you. Come on kids, do it kids. Show the world just how it is. Come on kids, we're all kids. Come on kids, do it kids. Show the world just how it is. Come on kids, we're all kids. Come on kids. Hi, welcome to Come On Kids. Nice to see you today.
Yeah, but you can't guess what day it is.
It's Tuesday. It sure
Ah,
is.
you got it right.
I did. And remember, Winky, on yesterday's show, you spoke to Bob.
Wow. Michael
That-
Jackson's favorite Aussie show, right?
That you would not call it that
Come
No.
on, kids.
at all. Yeah, come on, kids is
They
not.
would
a
call it
title I
Let's
would
Go
give it.
Kids today.
Yeah, I think they would change that. for
Yeah,
sure.
totally.
And
Wow.
that was filmed out. I'd been in that audience. That little duck was called Winky Dink.
Dinky dink.
Oh my god.
So
Winky
when
dink.
you've got names like Come On Kids and Winky,
Winky
Dink,
Dink.
you start to question who was running this show in the early 80s because something very wrong was going on. But do you remember watching that show, Rick?
I do actually. I do
Yeah.
remember watching that show, and they did actually do a filming in our school, primary school, as well.
Wow.
They used to go to different schools and do
Yeah.
some segments and stuff like that.
They were very like in the community, and
Yeah,
that
correct.
also used to bury off the Curiosity Show, which we'll do a clip
Yeah.
on coming up. And yeah, those guys are amazing. So,
Come on.
but
kids.
yeah, that's what's happening down in Australia, mate, in the early '80s for young kids.
Man,
Not
we-
good, was it?
No, but we had like some bizarre stuff here in the States. We had like this giant blue dog, and they had Clifford the Red Dog, Blue's Clues.
Yeah, that Clifford the Red Dog. Who was the big giant blue dog?
Blue's Clues. It was big.
Oh, Blue's Clues. Blues
Oh,
Clues.
Blues Clues.
Yeah. We know
Oh
what
my
happened
God.
to the first
Yeah.
host of Blues Clues.
He's fine. But
He's fine.
what I always thought was like during that era was a big transition into high level drugs. So I'm like, God, imagine people just getting high on the heroin and watching all these kid shows. Like,
What's the Blues
whoa,
Clues?
you got Barney. Oh, it's a talking dinosaur.
Barney
man.
could be terrifying. Sometimes.
Yeah. So I'd rather a little tiny duck than a giant dinosaur going, hey.
Well, on that note, I think it's probably time to wrap this show up. Isn't it, Rick?
It is, boys. It is. We've discussed some big news this week, which is great. We've had Joe, our special guest, on, which has been fantastic.
Good to hang out
Before
with you
we
guys.
wrap everything up, you can catch myself here on the Pop Culture Spread channel with a lot of trailer reactions and a whole heap of other backlog of videos that we do. Jace, where can everyone catch you as well? Do you want to plug
Oh,
everything?
well,
that
you can find me in a couple of places, multiple places, all across time and space. You can read into that as you will. The first one is Jason Roy Gaston over on the Jason Roy Gaston channel.
Mhm.
Me and Jason doing a slew of other shows. There's gaming shows. There's weekly television reviews. We've got film reviews going. There's a whole plethora of stuff. So go check it out over there. You can
Nice.
also find me. I've just started my own little kind of experimental YouTube channel,
So fun.
which is going to have some gaming and some clips from all the stuff I've loved over the last 40 years. And that's VHSJ. So if you could drop by and subscribe, would be great, because I've got a whole of 12 subscribers at the moment on
I
there.
think I'm 2 of them.
Yeah, that's where you can kind of find me, Rick.
Awesome. And Joe, Captain Joe Dove, where can everyone find you, buddy?
I am the co-host of the Captain's Quadrant. Jason Roy Gaston, the host of the most, and I dive into weekly Star Trek throws, do's, tropes, and all the fun stuff. And right now we are in the Agony booth talking about some of the worst episodes of Star Trek that we put each other through, and a wheel that Jace created that we've kept that just kind of goes through the show. And, you know, he doesn't have to suffer through these things anymore. But the big news is next Thursday, we celebrate our 100th Captain's Quadrant episode.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Well done.
Well
Thank you.
done.
Yes, thank you
Good
guys.
job.
It wouldn't be done without you guys, so I always appreciate
job.
everything.
Mm.
And we are doing a massive giveaway. I've got a Star Trek Klingon fleece that I'm giving away. All you have to do is go to any one of our videos or shorts and just, you know, comment. Just say hello. Preferably something a little bit more meaty than hello, and you're in the wheel of win. We've
You
got
had like
72
over, how many applicants have you had in
70.
the competition? 70.
Yeah.
That's insane.
70. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, a lot of people saying hi.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then on top of that, there's another place where you can find me, of course, talking about sci-fi, going through space and time, and that's on To Be Seen. Yes,
Mhm.
the number 2 BESCENE, tobeseen.com, because this is where you want to go and be seen. And we're talking about the Console Room podcast that will be out every Tuesday at 8 p.m., where we're talking about New Who. The Doctor Who is about to go through its next chrysalis, and we are going to be getting Cootie. We seeing a face from the past, and David Tennant. We're going to have 3 episodes with him and my good buddy and co-host with the most there, Ernesto, and I are going to be talking about David Tennant's last and final fray, and this is the Doctor, and then the new guy once he appears on the screen. So lots of fun to be had everywhere.
Awesome. Wow. There you go, guys. And we'll make sure we'll have all the links down below that of all those. That everyone can just click and go. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Joe, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for
on
having
this
me.
week's show. We really, really appreciate it. Jace, it's been
Yeah,
a pleasure.
don't be a
as
stranger,
always.
mate.
Oh, never.
No, that's it. No, that'd be great. I'm sure we'll see Joe more on the show.
You'll
Guys,
be our
thank you
US
so much.
correspondent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out here. It's really windy.
Yeah, we'll make sure he's in the worst weather each time.
I've got my sonic screwdriver and it's terrible.
Yeah. Put him in like the worst streets in New York. There's crime everywhere. He's gonna get mugged.
Yeah, again.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you all next week's show. Catch ya. Bye.
See you guys. Thanks for watching the Pop Culture Spread YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Also, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. And if you're looking for some quality wear, don't forget to check out our merchandise store, available right now. Yep, she'll be right.